we will talk about the future crises that we're going to face and also the level of capacity building that we need to face those crises. I want to start with Peter Hobby, with you. What's your view about the current status of COVID crisis? Is it over, or we have decided to move forward with the crisis with us?
Well, we're in different stages in different parts of the world. It's clear that the relationship between the human population and the virus population is still evolving. We're still seeing new variants evolving in different countries or at different places, and we've seen recently that China has released its control policies to some extent, which was inevitable, and they are now suffering some of the disease burden that other countries have seen. And so I think countries will at different stages reach a point of endemicity where we live with the virus. But to be honest, I think that will take another year or two with some bumps in the tail when we may see new variants emerging. So we're not out of the woods yet.
It's important to recognize the uniqueness of the crisis that we faced during COVID. The world is so connected that the crisis in underdeveloped or developing countries is not confined there. It is spreading like wildfire all over the world. So with that lesson in mind, with COVID, for future pandemics or future infectious crises that we're going to face, what type of modifications or what type of preparedness is very much necessary for us, you think, in your own opinion?
So I think we learned a lot of lessons from the pandemic. The first is that these are not theoretical threats, they're very real threats. People have been warning about epidemic threats since SARS-1, but memories are very short, and after SARS-1, after 1 or 2 years of preparedness, people relaxed. But we've seen that we should not have relaxed. We got another coronavirus similar to the first SARS, and it was devastating. You know, we've lost millions of lives. We've had untold sort of suffering from families with losses, but also long COVID, and we've had billions of economic losses. So these are huge threats. They're real threats, and we will have another pandemic, and we really have to take it seriously and prepare properly. And that needs investment. I think the second big lesson is that science made a big difference. Science really was transformative. We saw the lateral flow devices, developed through science in partnership with manufacturing, were transformative, that people could test at home and they could isolate at home and we could test easily. We saw the vaccines, which Sarah and others developed, have saved millions of lives and have meant we can all get back to normal lives. We've seen clinical trials produce treatments like steroids and the antivirals and the monoclonal antibodies developed by scientists in partnership with industry that have, again, saved millions of lives. And we've seen digital disease control tools, we've seen mathematical modelling. Science has really had a huge impact in getting us out of the pandemic, saving lives and getting us back into normal life. And so, I think it's really important that we build on those lessons and that we improve the innovation that we saw during the pandemic. During the pandemic, we saw vaccines in a year, we saw new therapeutics in 9 months. That was unheard of previously, and we've shown we can do it, and so we should be planning to be able to do that for the next threats and investing in young scientists like Dr. Jakul and others, so that wherever these things occur and whoever's affected, that next time we can respond much better.